Canada travelers caught in the middle.
You just take it as it comes.
Maybe going earlier, and that means then one day we don't know where to sleep.
Passengers find ways to deal with a looming strike.
The bottom line is we just don't know a lot about this treatment center.
Concern over where the province is looking to build an involuntary addictions treatment center in Calgary. And bear warning.
It's not going to stop me to go hiking because it's such a beautiful place.
How the search for food is bringing the bears out.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. If you have plans to fly with Air Canada over the next few days, start looking for options. The airline has started grounding flights in anticipation of Saturday's strike. Talks are at an impasse, and some 10,000 flight attendants have voted to strike. The national airline began the gradual suspension of flights by a dozen tonight, by 500 tomorrow, and by Saturday 1 a.m. a complete grounding of all flights. Today, about 24 Air Canada flight attendants stormed in on their employer during a news conference organized by the airline, holding signs accusing the Air Canada airline forcing unpaid work.
We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be valued for the work that we do.
We are extremely disappointed by CUPE's decision, which threatens to disrupt the travel plans of more than 130,000 customers a day.
We checked the Calgary airport site earlier, noting 7 canceled Air Canada flights between this evening and tomorrow. It's not clear whether it's due to the airline's response to a possible strike. As Tyler Barrow reports, some travelers are planning ahead. Others say they're going with the flow.
Some Air Canada passengers eager to get away are planning ahead amid flight cancellations in other cities. Summer Joy is en route home to Amsterdam, but she's not worried.
You just take it as it comes. If there's any problem, I'm sure it'll be fine.
This German traveler and his family are ending their stay in Calgary a day early, departing Friday instead of Saturday for the next leg of their holiday on Vancouver Island.
We thought maybe going earlier, and that means then one day we don't know where to sleep, whatever.
All flights would be grounded by Saturday if a deal is not reached in time. Already, international flights such as Vancouver to Sydney have been cancelled.
What Air Canada is doing is cancelling long-haul flights that don't have the return flight, bringing the aircraft home by tomorrow night.
Passengers will be notified if their flight is cancelled. Air Canada says it's rebooking passengers on other airlines. Those unable to rebook will be offered a full refund or a new ticket for a later date.
This strike won't last more than, I'd say 5 days at best, 7 days max.
The Calgary Chamber of Commerce is calling for both parties to get back to the bargaining table, and if a deal cannot be reached, is asking for the federal government to intervene.
This comes at a time when Canadian businesses and consumers have very little leeway.
Many are hoping WestJet will help fill the void. In a statement, WestJet said it is monitoring the status of contract negotiations between Air Canada and Canadian Union of Public Employees, and where there is an uncontrollable impact to Canadian air travel, WestJet will support Canadians wherever possible. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Air Canada has asked the federal government to step in and force mediation. Labour Minister Patty Hajdu says the union has requested until 12 p.m. Friday to decide whether it wants to enter binding arbitration. She has granted that request. A lot of WestJet customers have contacted CTV News regarding emails they've received about a cybersecurity breach. Customers are worried about the authenticity of the emails, but WestJet tells us the emails are legitimate and they contain important information. The emails advise customers their personal information may have been compromised during an incident in June. The airline says a sophisticated criminal third-party accessed its systems, and the culprits may have obtained names, email addresses, and mailing addresses, phone numbers, travel history, and passport info. The email offers free identity theft monitoring for the next 2 years from TransUnion Canada. If you get this email, you can double-check all the information at westjet.com/cyberinfo. Well, hundreds of people packed the third Alberta Next Panel Town Hall in Edmonton tonight, where Albertans are having their say on 6 different policy ideas.
Our response to the question is actually, in all 6 questions on the agenda tonight, is that Alberta doesn't really want you doing this right now. We don't want this.
Premier Danielle Smith has said one of the reasons for creating the panel is to address concerns regarding separatism. The town hall agenda includes pulling out of the Alberta pension plan, rather the Canada pension plan, creating a provincial police force to replace the RCMP, restructuring equalization payments, and Alberta's sovereignty. There were no shortage of speakers.
Do you believe this process will lead to meaningful provincial autonomy, or are Albertans being given false hope for changes that in practical terms may never materialize?
Stephen Harper was responsible for creating this formula. Pierre Poilievre has said recently he has no interest in changing it, and that makes them both consistent with the Liberals and Quebec and the other provinces who take.
There are 10 planned town halls this summer. The next 2 events will happen in the next couple of weeks, first in Fort McMurray and Lloydminster. The province is looking to build an involuntary addictions treatment facility in a Calgary neighborhood already home to numerous secure facilities. People who live nearby don't like the plan, saying there was little public consultation. Stephanie Thomas reports.
Kristen Boychuk moved to Royal Oak from Vancouver last year with her young family. They accepted how close their new home is to facilities like the Calgary Remand Centre, the Calgary Correction Centre, and the Youth Offender Centre.
You'll hear helicopters every once in a while from while they're searching for somebody who's escaped one of the lockups.
But she says she and her new neighbors have been left out of the loop about a new involuntary drug addiction treatment centre.
The lack of public consultation for it. That's the biggest concern for all of us because we have so many questions.
The province is calling it the Southern Alberta Compassionate Intervention Centre. The province wants to build it in Spy Hill near Country Hills Boulevard. At a price tag of $180 million, patients would be restricted to the 150-bed facility under guard of protected services. It builds off the government's Alberta recovery model that emphasizes abstinence from harmful substances in the wake of the opioid epidemic. Opponents of the involuntary care model say the location is telling.
If the Alberta government wanted to remind everybody that these facilities are essentially prisons, they've certainly succeeded at that.
Similar concerns are being raised by professors at the University of Calgary.
We know in our institutions that substances are available. There's many ways that people bring substances in.
The other critique is, of course, that compelling people to undergo treatment raises issues, for example, under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
In a statement to CTV News, the province says many jurisdictions have experienced positive outcomes with varying models of mandatory treatment. There is not enough evidence to back the claim that mandatory treatment does not work. We are committed to an ongoing review of compassionate intervention. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
A Calgary group has filed an appeal challenging the city's blanket rezoning bylaw. The grassroots coalition called Calgarians for Thoughtful Growth filed a judicial review against city-wide rezoning earlier this year. The group lost the decision and is now appealing to the Court of Appeal. There is no date for a possible hearing. Last month's hailstorm that swept through Calgary caused more than $90 million in insured damages. According to the Insurance Bureau of Canada, 65% of claims came from vehicle damage. The Bureau says the province has seen at least one major hailstorm every year for the past 2 decades, and the past 5 years of storms have caused $6 billion in damage. The Northern Hail Project also documented the damage of the storm from Royal Oak in the northwest to just south of Chestermere Lake. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. Is that fall or?
I know, a little bit of a taste of fall in the air, just for a day. Don't worry, we'll bounce back into the 20s for tomorrow. It won't feel that warm, so in the morning, a lot of cloud cover, a few showers, and just 12 degrees at 8 a.m. We will get into the 20s for the afternoon. kind of just barely, but we'll get there. And there will still be a decent amount of cloud cover at times, but we should also get some sunny breaks as well. Okay, your weekend forecast coming up.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Calgary police say a man who was stabbed near the drop-in center last month has died from his injuries. The man was stabbed on July 24th near the drop-in center. Police say the victim, 37-year-old Gurdeep Mundi, was taken to hospital in life-threatening condition. He died of his injuries yesterday. 2 men were arrested nearby and were charged with aggravated assault and robbery. Police are also looking for footage from that night at the corner of Riverfront Avenue and 4th Street Southeast between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Bear warnings for anyone who ventures into the mountains are nothing new, but this week Alberta Parks issued a blanket warning for all of K-Country and the Bow Valley, a directive not seen since 2016 in our province. As Terry Fikowski reports, anyone headed out should be prepared and bear aware as Bruins devour a bumper crop of buffalo berries.
It's a stunning scenery that attracts thousands outdoors, many hopeful to spot wildlife from afar.
You saw a grizzly on the road, crazy, like pretty scary. We were in the car, so we felt safe. If you saw that on a trail, it would be a different story.
But there have been so many recent bear sightings and close encounters with both grizzly and black bears that it has warranted a blanket warning for all of K-Country and the Bow Valley.
We often will issue warnings for smaller areas. And we had been over the last few weeks, but we're just realizing that, man, these bears are everywhere and they're moving around a lot. So we've gone with the whole Kananaskis-wide advisory.
It's thanks to buffalo berry season, with an abundance along trails and campgrounds in the valley bottom. Regular rain this summer has created a perfect patch. And where there are berries, there are bears. Lots of them.
The number of grizzly bears that we're seeing is somewhat astonishing. We have a suite of bears that we regularly see and interact with, but we're all of a sudden we're seeing new bears. We have no idea where they've come from.
People are urged to be prepared for a bear anywhere, even the busy trails. Like, do you guys carry bear spray and things like that?
It's expensive, so we didn't buy one, but we just assumed there's not going to be any bears. So
it's something Kim Titchener, the founder of Bear Safety and More, hears too often.
People don't read signs. They may not catch the news. It might not be in their language, so they don't know what's going on. We're near the front nozzle. You're going to pull that.
She says it's crucial people carry bear spray and know how to use it.
And aim down and point. It's a big wake-up call. Always take it as a bear. It's always bear safety season.
The warning is worrisome for some, but parking lots at popular trails remain packed.
Hopefully talking a lot, which we have lots of kids.
Make a lot of noise, and we're in their territory.
We have such a short summer, and this year it's even worse, so might as well go enjoy, right?
With a reminder to wander wisely in bear country. Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Kananaskis.
Just ahead, Calgary firefighters are again urging the city to move ahead with the long-planned station in Inglewood. What's behind the delay?
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The Alberta Prosperity Project will have to wait a little longer before it can start gathering signatures from supporters. A judge has ruled a review of the separatist group's potential referendum question can go ahead. Organizers want to ask if Alberta should become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada. The province's chief electoral officer referred the question to an Alberta judge last month to determine whether it violates the Constitution. An application was made to quash that review. Today, the judge ruled a hearing will benefit democracy and must happen first.
This whole hearing process seems to be asking the question, is asking a question to amend the Constitution in and of itself unconstitutional, which is, to me, a pretty remarkable position.
It's a great reaffirmation of the fact that the process actually works. We have always followed this process, and that is why Elections Alberta has approved our petition, and separatists are having these hurdles that they have to overcome.
A group led by Thomas Lukaszuk has had its pro-Confederation question approved by Elections Alberta. The petition to make it an official referendum question is now underway. The group has until the end of October to collect nearly 300,000 signatures. A UCP MLA has made a proposal to redraw the electoral map in Lethbridge. Nathan Newdorf wants the Electoral Boundaries Commission to consider dividing the city's 2 ridings into 3 or even 4. That redistribution would include outlying rural communities. Newdorf claims the changes would strengthen advocacy for both urban and rural residents while supporting the province's goal of responsible economic growth. Opponents see it as a way to dilute NDP voters in Lethbridge by adding more rural voters who historically tend to vote for the UCP.
This is gerrymandering in its most blatant form. To split a municipality of our size into 4 and add in a bunch of rural municipalities, it's ridiculous just thinking about it.
Newdorf's proposal is one of the 197 submissions to the Electoral Boundaries Commission. Calgary firefighters are again sounding the alarm about a long-delayed fire hall in Inglewood. Despite being planned for years, the project is on pause as the city looks for a partner. Meanwhile, the city grows and call volumes increase. Jordan Canagan has more.
A sign promising a new fire hall in Inglewood is so dated it's overgrown. Planning for the mixed-use station is again on pause.
And we need the tools and resources to do our job.
The Calgary Firefighters Association is urging the city to move ahead with the inner city hub. Money has been set aside and the city has owned the land at the corner of 11th Avenue and 12th Street Southeast for more than 15 years.
We have been working with a private developer to advance the project. They're owning the housing component while we were looking at the fire component. And really some complexities in how the deal is structured limited their ability to move forward.
City planners want to build a fire hall with retail at ground level and housing above. The idea isn't new, and Calgary has recently opened other mixed-use stations, but those were all delivered by the city itself. Searching for a private partner in Inglewood is dragging the concept along.
This hall has been tied up in bureaucracy for upwards of 15 years. Seconds matter, and we need that critical piece of infrastructure inside the center of the city. We're adding 100,000 residents to Calgary every single year.
Inglewood is served by the downtown fire hall. The Firefighters Union points to last year's blaze at the Old Beautiful tap room as an example of the need for a quick response. The location of the delayed fire hall is right across the street.
So when we're pulling valuable resources from the downtown area to service that community, when there should be a fire hall in that community.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
City officials say alternative plans for the fire hall will be presented to councillors by the end of the year. Well, Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast. Yeah, it's a cool night and windy out there. Details next.
Well, if you went outside at all today, you definitely know it was a chilly one, well below normal, but we will start to bump up in temperature. Today, though, just a high of 16 degrees in Calgary, 17 in Edmonton, so certainly some of the cooler places in the country for today. Just today. We'll improve tomorrow. Back in the 20s. Okay, we have high pressure building in, but this is more of a dirty high. So we are looking at clouds that will be able to creep in throughout the next couple of days, even some isolated showers with this as well. This high pressure will strengthen, though, by Sunday. That's when you'll notice a good chunk of sunshine really for the entire day on Sunday. All right, for the rest of, I would say the next couple of days, this ridge of high pressure will start to build its way in. And again, by Sunday is when we'll really notice a difference with regards to conditions. Now, it's not looking like we're going to see severe weather like thunderstorm activity, but because it's stable enough that we shouldn't get that. But we will likely see some showers in the morning tomorrow at times. And then later in the day, we'll see the sun peek through. And then similar idea for Saturday. Showers possible in the morning, certainly some cloud cover, and then the sun peeking through later in the day. All right, when we look at that longer range forecast, 21 degrees is our expected high for tomorrow. Again, showers in the morning, cloud cover in the morning, and then sunshine at times in the afternoon hours. Similar thing for Saturday, just a little warmer with a high of 24 degrees. By Sunday, we're looking at those mid-20s with a whole lot of sunshine. So Sunday will be a bright, hot day. We bounce down a little bit on Monday to 22, but we'll be back to those mid-20s with a whole lot of sunshine as this ridge of high pressure really does strengthen for next week. Tuesday looking at a high of 26.
Looking good, Danielle. Thanks. The lone competitor from Calgary. Next, we hear from Wes Martin and his long-awaited dream to compete at the Rogers Charity Classic. A tourist from Ireland who just happens to also be an avid golfer is having a fantastic visit to Calgary. She volunteered to work the Rogers Charity Classic on a whim and got to meet one of the biggest golfers from back home.
Very good. Well, it was cold. It was like home this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit chilly, all right. And then yesterday, then the lightning and the thunder and lightning yesterday evening was a bit bad, all right.
I know.
Darren Clark is a professional golfer from Northern Ireland. Miriam Matthews lives in the south. She's a huge golf fan and was thrilled to meet Clark as she marshals hole 9 at Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club this week, a job she signed up for to fill some time while house and dog sitting in Calgary.
Usually this spontaneous just to see this and do it?
If you ask any of my friends, they'll say I am, yeah. Yeah, I suppose we're Irish, so we're known for the gift of the gab, as we say in Ireland, I suppose. So yeah, look, we're all human beings, so we all chat, I suppose, as well. So, and if you don't chat to people, you won't have experiences.
Matthews flies back to Ireland Saturday, where she regularly plays 18 holes on her own local course. She loved the city and the mountains, but reminded us in Ireland, you can golf year-round. Well, they'll be teeing it up for real starting tomorrow at the Rogers Charity Classic, and no doubt the local fans will be cheering on Wes Martin. Martin is the lone Calgarian in the field this year. He got into the Classic by winning the qualifier at the Highwood Golf Club in High River on Tuesday. Martin shot a sizzling 9 under 62 to qualify for the tournament. That's in his hometown. Martin has dreamed of one day playing in this event since it first got here.
It means a lot. I've been trying. I played this golf game my whole life, and took a big swing at it years ago. And now that I'm 50 again, I'm the young guy, and with this, we're lucky to have this tournament here, and it just gives me that chance to, kind of try again. I'm just going to try to enjoy this. It's hard. I'm nervous, right? So it is what it is, and I'll just enjoy the few days off work.
Martin will tee it up at 12:31 on hole 10 tomorrow. The Calgary Flames have revealed a new look at center ice. A video on X shows crews installing the familiar Flaming C logo in the center circle, but fans will notice a few differences. The C is white, the inverse of last season when it was red, and there are small white Flaming Cs all along the center line. Some fans online say they like it, while others say it will take some time getting used to, but we can all agree it all means hockey season is right around the corner. All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.